All right, guys. So we got to talk about the woke Little Mermaid once again because I told you guys that I want to see and track the financial performance of this movie for various reasons. Okay, all of these companies going woke. Okay, they tell us that they're doing it for money. Okay, that it is going to make them money to be woke. This is what the market wants. So I find it to be fascinating what the box office numbers of movies like The Little Mermaid, what they're doing, because it's going to tell us whether or not being woke is actually profitable. Okay, so with that being said, last time I talked about this, which was opening day Memorial Weekend for The Little Mermaid, I told you guys that it was kind of a disaster for Disney internationally. And the reason why is because internationally, okay, in international box offices, The Little Mermaid flopped, right? It just flopped. It made 60 million over a 4-day Memorial Day weekend, with its performance in China being particularly bad as they only raked in 2.5 million. Okay, Chinese people aren't feeling the race swap work Little Mermaid. Okay, that has hurt this Disney film worldwide, and that's a big problem for Disney because historically, when it comes to their movies, their live action remakes, they need big international box office numbers in order to make good profits. Okay, and that's just not what the Little Mermaid has. It has, it seems to be bad appeal internationally. Okay, so with that being said, you had some people basically coming out and saying that, hey, we don't even know if the Little Mermaid is going to break even at this point. Okay, which again is a disaster for Disney. Now, some people in the comment section last time I made a video said, "Well, Disney made over $100 million in the first weekend. That's not a disaster. That's not bad." And I'm like, hold on. You guys got to realize how this works. Okay, Disney spent $250 million just to make the movie. Once you factor in all the costs, including marketing, advertising, stuff like that, this movie could cost upwards of 700 to 800 million dollars, and Disney has to make again 700 $800 million just to break even. Okay, so when you look at these numbers, right? I mean, it is clear that despite what some people in the media are saying about the big splashy numbers, when you factor in cost to make the movie, uh, it could be a strong possibility that Disney does not make money on this film. Okay, which again is a disaster for them. As during the second week, the box office numbers, at least domestically, they dropped 58%. Now, why is this number concerning? Well, the reason why is because compared to Aladdin, which is a movie that most people compare this to, another Disney live action remake that came out in 2019 on Memorial Day weekend as well too. Um, Aladdin during the second week dropped 53%. The Little Mermaid is performing worse in the second week in regards to a percentage drop in viewership than Aladdin. Now, Aladdin had reached over $1 billion, okay, at the box office, but that had the international sales to go along with it. It did not do as well domestically as The Little Mermaid is doing right now, but Aladdin had the international box office numbers to carry it over a billion. The Little Mermaid doesn't have that. Okay, so again, this is a problem for Disney, and don't let the mainstream liberal media tell you otherwise, right? Because again, the big headlines assumes that you're dumb and that you're not looking at how other movies have performed before in the past and the cost associated with a movie like The Little Mermaid. Again, we don't even know if it's going to break even at this point. So let's read about some of the numbers here so that you guys get a better understanding of what's going on. Released in North America on May 26, 2023, prior to the Memorial Day weekend, The Little Mermaid grossed 118.6 million over the Friday to Monday Memorial Day frame, slightly ahead of the 2019 live action remake of Aladdin, which grossed 116.8 million during the same 4-day frame in 2019. However, this 118.6 million opening weekend at the domestic box office was more than offset by a lackluster opening weekend performance in the international markets, where The Little Mermaid only grossed 63.8 million, including a pitiful 2.5 million opening gross weekend gross from the all important Chinese market. As the previous live action Disney remake films have made more money at the international box office than domestically, and by a wide margin. The Little Mermaid is in a very bad position to simply reach a break-even point financially, much less earn a sizable profit. Again, this is what I want to know, right? All I want to know is if this film would actually make money, okay? Are these companies making money off of wokeness, okay? Does wokeness sell? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know, okay? With a 250 million production cost and a reported 140 million of marketing costs, The Little Mermaid, under the most generous of projections, needs to gross approximately 560 million at the worldwide box office, according to Hollywood insiders, to reach its break-even threshold. Again, so this is lowball, right? This is best case scenario. However, this 560 million figure, which assumes a 300 million domestic gross and 260 million international gross, also includes 100 million in expected earnings from television, both free and paid television, another 100 million from home entertainment, digital and DVD, and 80 million from international television sales and streaming rights. Basically, the 560 million break-even scenario accounts for an exhaustion of the film's potential revenue streams beyond its theatrical life, and leaves little possibility for the film to be able to achieve any substantial profit for Disney. With its weak international box office performance, The Little Mermaid has already fallen far behind the box office pace and performance of Disney's previous live-action remake films, not including the pandemic-addled 2020 live-action remake of Mulan. For example, the 2019 live-action remake of Aladdin grossed $356.5 million at the domestic and a whopping $695.1 million at the international box office, for a worldwide box office gross of over $1 billion. Prior to Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, the 2017 live-action adaptation of Disney's 1991 animated film, grossed $504 million domestically and $959.5 million internationally, for a worldwide box office gross of over $1.2 billion. Yeah, Little Mermaid ain't reaching that, right? They don't have the international numbers. They ain't reaching that, okay? The Little Mermaid, again, compared to some of these other films, this is a full-blown disaster right now for Disney. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all, okay? In stark contrast, The Little Mermaid, at the end of its second theatrical weekend, has grossed approximately $260 million at the worldwide box office. Given its current box office trajectory, especially in the international markets, the only recent live-action Disney film that The Little Mermaid has had a chance of surpassing, commercially speaking, is Dumbo, the 2019 adaptation of the classic 1941 animated film of the same name, which grossed $350 million at the worldwide box office gross, against a reported $500 million worldwide box office break-even point. Yeah, so it ain't looking good for The Little Mermaid. Now, you also have IMDB changing their rating system because of all the negative reviews coming in for Little Mermaid. Again, it seems like the media is trying so hard to cover up for the disaster that this film is, okay? People just, don't like it, or some people are saying they don't like it, and they're saying, well, they're review bombing, okay? Which is funny because they never do the same thing for positive reviews, right? When people go in and put a bunch of positive reviews, even though they haven't seen the movie, you don't see them going out of their way to change the system, okay, or to change the way they do the ratings because of all the positive reviews. But again, they're trying their best to make The Little Mermaid be some type of great film that, honestly, looking at the box office numbers, it's not, right? And if you believe the reviews, it's not that good, okay? It's okay, right? But again, we don't really know where the reviews are at because Hollywood is changing the reviews because of alleged review bombing, okay? So without further ado, let's read about this. They're making waves. The Internet Movie Database has changed its rating system for the newly released live-action Little Mermaid amid, quote, unusual voting activity. The Halle Bailey-led film has a 7 out of 10 rating on the site, but a few crabby users, also known as review bombers, are allegedly giving the Disney flick negative scores for no good reason. Again, what about the ones that's giving it a positive score for no good reason? What about that? right? Do they ever address that? No, they don't. Quote, our rating mechanism has detected unusual voting activity on this title. To preserve the reliability of our rating system, an alternate weighting calculation has been applied. A note on the US, Canadian, UK, Brazilian, and Mexican Little Mermaid pages reads, IMDB continues on its FAQ page, quote, although we accept and consider all votes received by users, not all votes have the same impact or weight on the final rating. When the unusual voting activity is detected, an alternate weighting calculation may be applied in order to preserve the reliability of our system. The statement reads, IMDB further states it won't disclose how the new method will generate the rating to ensure it, quote, remains effective. The Post has contacted IMDB reps for comment. Yeah, so The Little Mermaid is getting review bombed so bad that they're changing the whole system, okay? Which, again, we've seen this before with Netflix, with Amy Schumer's Netflix special, whatever. They changed the whole rating system because they didn't like the fact that, people didn't like that production. And again, Hollywood always does this. Okay, they always do this instead of, I don't know, listening to fans, because the numbers don't lie. Okay, look at the box office numbers, particularly internationally. The Little Mermaid is not as well received as Hollywood and Disney would have liked. Okay, and based off these numbers that we're saying that are coming in, again, Disney could have a hard time just breaking even on this film, which again would be a disaster for them, considering the marketing, considering the hype that they put behind this movie. Okay, it felt like The Little Mermaid was out for over a year, right, before it actually was released, because of all the hype, because of all the controversy behind it. It should have performed much better, but Disney is telling us that wokeness sells. However, that's not what we're seeing here with The Little Mermaid as of right now. But who knows? Again, maybe The Little Mermaid could grow its legs and maybe, just maybe, make Disney some money. But I doubt it. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.